How do you pronounce your last name?
DePatie.
Hey, Facebook. Here we are with Leon DePatie. He's in Florida, you guys. Look at the beautiful bushes behind him. Hi, Leon.
Hi.
Yeah, so nice to have you on here today on Comic Spot. Thank you for joining. Oh, are you kidding me? I couldn't wait to talk to you. How long have you been doing comedy? I know you studied it your whole life, but how long have you been on stage?
I started doing some workshops in South Florida, oh God, about 3 years ago or so, and all I did was focus on like writing and trying to formulate something. And I did that for about a year, and then I got on stage, and I realized that everything that I had written for that past year really didn't work. Comedy is so much easier with an audience because you can make yourself laugh at just about anything. So I definitely worked on, creating new material that actually worked. There's a couple of jokes that I had originally that still kind of stood the test of time. And I still use those today just because it's nice to be a little nostalgic. But it's been a solid 2 years now. Actually, my 2-year anniversary was last month, I believe.
Whoa, congratulations. So,
Thank you.
so tell me, you always were funny growing up? Is that the story, or did you, like when your voice dropped, did you become funny?
I was always trying to find funny things. As a child growing up, my parents were older. I'm the youngest in my family, next to my daughter at this point. My brothers are 9, 10, 11 years older than I am. So when I was a kid, my mother would put me in front of the TV to go do whatever she wanted. And it would usually be in front of like HBO. And next thing you know, George Carlin specials or Robin Williams specials would pop on. And I'd start watching these guys. And it was just amazing to me to see these guys just stand there and speak. And all of these people loved them. And it intrigued me and it made me want to watch more. And luckily I had the ability to. And it corrupted my childhood for the most part.
So, did teachers and family tell you you're so funny you should get on stage, or?
Some people would. Other people would be more annoyed. I have the type of humor that really needs the right crowd. I have some people that love the things that I do and say, and then I have other people who are just like, why is he still talking?
What is your kind of comedy that you get that mixed review?
I am a weird amalgamation of like strange out there satire and real world things. I kind of mix the two because a lot of people, they're like political pundits and they're like, oh, I'm going to be funny about all serious stuff, or oh, I'm going to be funny about all. I go into it all. And a lot of times I know that I have the problem, which a lot of people do, of carrying things too far.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes if you don't mine it far enough, you don't get the good goal.
That's right. You know, the funniest comics to me are ones that can do an entire set about one topic.
Absolutely.
That just
Bobby Slayton, I believe, did a special where he kind of did a whole thing based around one story, but it was everything branching off of it, and it all just came around in full circle.
I love that. It just makes me die laughing that somebody, especially when you start learning about comedy and you see somebody doing that, you're like, that's brilliant.
Absolutely. Just getting creative around everything.
So nowadays, who are your favorite comics, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm still a huge fan of the classics, of course. I can't get away from those guys no matter how many times I hear their bits. But today, you got Dave Chappelle, who is, as of right now, the greatest of all time. The man can talk about anything and make it hilarious. There's a whole plethora of other comics. I've got some local guys here in Tampa who are fantastic comics. But I like a lot. I like a lot of the comedians. The comedians that I don't like, I'm not going to name any names, but they're the ones that are known for stealing a lot of material.
Yep.
Just leave that there. But like out. Dave Chappelle, definitely. Joe Rogan is one of my favorites. I enjoy his interviews and just him speaking more than his stand-up, actually.
Me too.
His stand-up's actually really solid.
Yeah.
We could sit here and name comics all day, though, to be honest.
What's that?
We could sit here and name comics all day.
Yes.
There's millions of them out there. A lot of good ones.
A lot of good ones. So the very first time you got on stage is 2 years ago, just had your anniversary. Take me back to the moment where you said, screw it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to risk looking like an idiot to make people laugh. Tell me about that decision.
So, the risk looking like an idiot is a funny thing because I never had a problem looking like an idiot any other time in my life. In fact, that's kind of me. I'll go into grocery stores and do weird things to look like an idiot just to make somebody else laugh. But I just got tired of looking at, everything, going, okay, well, I've written this, I've done this. I mean, I'm never going to know if this is going to work unless I try it. And there happened to be an open mic, and it's funny because it's right around the corner from my house now still. It was on my way home from work, and it was every Mondays. And I drove by and I went, that's probably the perfect place for me to go. There's not going to be a ton of people there. It's all like I've never been there before, so I don't know anybody. What's it going to hurt? As long as I don't go in there and say some of the few things that you can say to really upset people, I should be fine. And that's what I did. And I actually had my first actual laugh was from a joke that I don't use anymore because I think it's a little too off-putting for some people. But the host of the mic heard it, and it just dropped. And he goes, wow, that's actually a really funny joke. And when I heard him say that, everything kind of like lifted off of me. Like, whoa, he liked it. Well, then maybe he'll like this one. And maybe he'll like this one. And so the ones that they liked, it made me want to throw more out there. And the ones that they didn't like, I went, oh, yeah, then I don't know if you're going to like this one. And I felt the confidence. It was interesting how the confidence would come and go. And yet that's still kind of a lot of the problems that I'll have with some things every now and then.
Yep.
But hey, it is the world we live in.
Yes. It's almost like you're playing a game on some stages where people want to come and laugh, but they're playing, go ahead, make me laugh. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've had the open mic that I actually run now. I haven't run it in a couple months now. But we would get a lot of people that would come out there. And at first I started having a lot of, my friends would come out. But the problem is all my friends live miles away. And we start getting locals coming out because they saw the big crowd. And it's almost like you have to. I'm like, guys, this is a training ground. This is where we come to spar, to throw things out there. So it's not all going to be gold, but don't be rude about it. It's like you don't have to laugh, but don't start talking about it, which was the other big problem that a lot of open mics get.
Yes, indeed. So what's some of the best advice you got in the last 2 years that helped you the most?
The best advice is just getting on stage.
Yes.
There's no substitute for stage time.
None.
Without a reaction, you can't have laughter.
That's right.
Right now, my dogs are funnier than I am for the last 2 months, I've discovered, so I'm going to start bringing them on stage. But another thing that people told me is don't be afraid to say how you feel.
Yes.
I'm the type of person where I can take a lot of subjects and go very far with them and be very passionate about them. But I also like to be lighthearted, which is why it's hard for me to talk about things that I feel passionate about, because then it turns into like a dissertation about why I'm right.
Yeah, like a TED Talk.
Exactly, and I'm nobody that should be providing any kind of a TED Talk on anything.
That's funny. That's almost a funny premise right there. Like, wouldn't it be funny if I did a TED Talk? Because I really shouldn't have a voice.
The only thing I'd be qualified enough to do a TED Talk on is how to screw up in life.
Tell me about some of the things you screwed up in your life.
Well, and it's not a screw up, but at the But
Yep.
having a child at the age of 18 is not easy.
No.
Anybody out there that is watching this now, it is not a solid plan throughout life. Serious face. I had a lot of things that I wanted to do, but when my daughter was born, I immediately went into, well, I have to take care of somebody. Like this is I'm responsible for the next at least 18 years. So I had to hunker down, and that was where all of my aspirations kind of went. Oh, gotta go to work. So that was a setback. I love my daughter. She is now 22 years old. She's out on her own, doing her thing. She's just doing pretty well for herself. I'd love to say that she's a Rhodes Scholar and that she's going to be the next president of the United States, but that's possible now, thanks to the person who's in the office now. But no, that was hard because that set me back many years for what I wanted to do. Other than that, it's just the normal things of being a parent. I mean, nobody knows how to do it.
Nobody.
So you figure out how to do it, and it's all one thing here ends up making 5 things over here, blow apart. So, and it's just a comedy of errors in and of itself.
Exactly. So true. I had a daughter when I was 25. She's now 43. And I didn't start doing comedy till she was 36. And didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Oh, well, I mean, I luckily, my daughter and I have an extreme connection because of the things we had to go through together.
Same with mine.
And I'm the type of person, I parented with logic. Hey, see that right there? It's hot. Do you want to see how it's hot? Hey, I'll put a match to it. Look, it caused a fire without having to strike a match. It's hot. And things like that. But I'd be straight with her, be honest. Hey, don't do that. That's stupid. And she listened, and we had a whole thing throughout her entire high school years, where things are the hardest, where I would tell her, "You're going out, okay? Don't do anything stupid." She asked me once, "What do you mean? If you think to yourself that I'm going to look at you and say that was stupid, don't do it."
Exactly. Very good. You made it through that. Congratulations.
And we're both still alive, so I don't know how, but yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when they grow up and they have had nothing but you their whole life, and then they're like, you know what, I want to be on my own, and that pulling away, that ripped us apart, and so we're both taking time to heal.
Yeah, and that happens with everybody.
Yeah.
It's, ebbs and flows.
Yep, that's life,
Absolutely.
They wrote songs about that. So far in your 2 years, what are some of the I know you wrote me some of your accomplishments. I was wondering if you could repeat that, because I think that shows your sense of humor.
Okay, so my accomplishments in comedy, it's an everyday thing for me, because it's number one, just getting on stage is an accomplishment for me, because I deal with extreme self-doubt. I always have. I've never been able to just jump into something and go, I'm going to do this. No, it's always going on in my head. Hey, I don't know if this is going to be good enough. Why would you want to do this? It's just going to make you look dumb, and then people are going to think weird things. And so it's a fight for me to actually get up and get past that.
Absolutely.
And of course, the second thing is getting a laugh. Because as soon as I can get that first laugh, that breaks a lot of what's happening in my head. And it's kind of like fueling. And then, of course, after I'm done with however long I've been up there, the fact that I want to do it again. Because the process of getting up there is so difficult for me, and the way I feel mentally, it makes me feel so weird to say it, but it's true. Like, I have weird thoughts about it, and I have hang-ups, and I know that they're my hang-ups. But
I like that.
I have to stop buying my bullshit.
I love this. It's so real and raw and authentic. When you're on stage, do you talk about this?
I have. There have been a few times where, I've had the open mic where I've had a crowd full of people and not a single comic. And so, well, guess what? Now I'm going to do a show for you guys. plans, and I don't have it prepared. Let's just talk about whatever. And I would tell people about, the fact that I have to go through a lot of challenges. And a couple of my friends were in the audience, and they're like, wow, I never understood, I never knew that about you. No, I'm not going to let you know that until I get up in front of a microphone, because when I hold that big black microphone in my hand, nobody's in front.
Yeah. It's amazing how we get the confidence once we're up there.
And a lot of people don't understand. For years, I was afraid, and for a solid year of writing, I was afraid. And then I finally took that step, and I went, oh, no one's gonna hurt me. I'm not gonna fall, or I'm not actually going to break my leg. I'm going to be fine. And now there have been a few situations where, I'm a white guy named Leon, so I have a lot of material about that, because that is weird in and of itself. And I've done some of that stuff where it gets a little racy in some areas where I really thought I might have crossed a line or two. And because I kept it okay, I didn't cross any serious lines, everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And so my fear was really not necessary.
Got it. Absolutely. I told a joke. I thought I had a killer joke about Michael Jackson. Because, we all know what he went through with the whole sexual allegations and all of that. And there's 14,000 opinions. So I thought my joke was killer, right? And so I delivered it one day in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from. And, it's very racist there and very passive aggressive. So not only are they racist, but they won't be straight up. I get done telling this joke about Michael Jackson. I thought it was innocent because it had to do with the fact that the movie Free Willy was filmed in Oregon.
Right.
And so the punchline wasn't it was that it grossed over $70 million. And we all know he grossed far more than that in terms of mothers and children, And then I go, but, that money came in really handy later on when Michael allegedly freed his own Willie. And it got way too big of a laugh. So the next guy came up and said, well, I didn't know we had a racist grandma here tonight.
The one person that I used to look up to the most that I used to work with was this old guy who at work in front of customers would say things that people would think, they'd be like, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, he just told you literally to go fuck yourself. He said those words. And you're like, oh, that's so cute. How do I make that happen? That's a superpower.
It is. When I was in Yonkers, New York, I went out barking with an 82-year-old guy that was my coach, George Saltz, right? And he won the funniest Jew contest in Manhattan. Super funny guy. He gets away with murder with men and women. And it pisses me. We were out trying to get people to come into the Yonkers Comedy Club. And so I said, hi, would you guys like to come into the show? And George Saltz said, yeah, we'd love you to come in. And they go, well, tell me a joke. And he told them a joke. They didn't laugh. And he says, do me a favor, stay the fuck home.
Oh my God. That's, but sometimes you do things like that and people look and go, oh wow, that's humorous because it's different.
Yeah, it's real.
Those people probably didn't get it.
Yeah, they still didn't get anything. I don't think they knew they were in front of a comedy club when we talked to them. They weren't woke. An 82-year-old was more woke than they were.
Hey, it is the new times, so anything is possible in today's day and age.
Have you ever told a joke, Leon, and the audience tries to act like they don't have a clue what you're talking about?
Yes.
And you know darn well it's a solid premise that's relatable, but they're playing this game.
Well, I've done a few jokes. I try not to get too political with a lot lot of things, and if I do, I try to stay as neutral political, because today's day and age, you can literally, just shut people off.
Yes.
So, and one thing is that I always have this one joke that I say, and some crowds like it, other crowds don't, where I'm like, no matter what happens, my hair is better than the president's today. And I've had some people, crowds of people, laugh hysterically, because I know, my hair looks weird, especially now, but even when I get it cut, I look like a middle school lesbian teacher. So it's one of those things, and I've had crowds just look, and they're like, what do you mean? You understand that the guy that we have leading our country right now really needs a hairstylist, right? Hello.
It almost becomes funny that they're not getting it. Then it becomes like a tag. Oh, you thought that was a good haircut. I'm sorry.
Apparently, I know that there's times where I look at people and go, do I actually not look the way I think I look? I'm confused about this.
Have you ever gone around and asked strangers, when you look at me, what do you see? Have you ever asked them that?
I have never directly done that.
It is so fun.
What I used to do is I would go onto dating websites when I was single,
Uh-huh.
and I would I would start swiping on everybody so that I would match with everybody, and I called it the Tinder lottery. And what I would do is I would just see who would match with me, because that's who's looking at me? What am I appealing to here? Now, I hate to say the things I was appealing to for the beginning of it. Oh, yeah. I was a little bit, I felt horrible, because I was like, oh, no, you're not attractive either. I'm pretty sure a couple guys were trying to hit on me on Tinder. Told them it was the wrong, site, but they didn't believe me.
Yes.
That's probably the way I would find out how people thought about me, is I would do things like that. And that actually, for the solid year that I was doing writing, I was doing a lot of dating, so it helped with both aspects of it. Even though I got rid of a lot of the stuff, I still have a lot of experiences to pull from.
What's the funniest thing that's ever happened when you've been dating, Leon?
I was on a date, and I met this girl at a bar. I was living in South Florida at the time. I was right across the street from the beach. Having a great time, and I happened to notice that there was some weird dude across the way just giving me the stink eye. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, whatever, it is what it is. And I didn't think anything of it. We meet again the following week, and we go to a similar place in the same location, and I can't help but notice that I see the same guy, and he's just staring at me like he hates me.
Oh my gosh.
I look at the girl, I said, you happen to know somebody? And I described the guy. She's like, that sounds like my ex. I said, okay, well, he's standing across the street right now staring at us. So I don't know how you want to handle it, but yeah, I'm not cool with this. And then a couple of days later, I call her up, and she went back out. She got back together with him. She's like, hey, yeah, my ex and I, we fix things. It's like, oh, you like creepy guys? Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. Well, back in the 60s, I was at camp, and somebody fixed me up with a blind date. And I thought, well, what could go wrong? Sure, I'll go on a blind date. And when he knocked on the door, these were the days where you could call a spade a spade. You could say what you thought, right? So back in the day, it was okay to laugh about it. It's not funny at all now, but back in the day, it was funny to say, and he was a hair lip. I really want a time machine. I want to go back to when that joke was okay.
That was the one thing that I actually think I benefited from, having an older family, is that I was able to experience more of the older generation things, like the comedy from the 60s and 70s, where, Red Fox. People don't know who Red Fox is. Red Fox was one of the funniest people alive.
He was.
And people don't understand. He was a lounge comic. He went to small lounges and did stand-up back before there was actually stand-up.
He was amazing. I once had the Red Album. Do you know what I'm talking about? I was a huge, he came, I became aware of him when it was not okay for me to listen to dirty comedy. And it was so refreshing.
He's done a lot of his stuff though isn't just set up punchline. It's more like story humor, but it's fantastic because of how different it is. But it's still good, and a lot of it still kind of stands the test of time. I introduced my daughter to some of it. Unfortunately, the think pieces are too time specific. A lot of some of the stuff is too like, oh well, if we were around back in like the wartime, you would get this joke more.
Yeah.
But we're not. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes when like I'm 69 years old, Leon. So sometimes when I tell a joke, I purposely am telling a premise that I know the young people are not going to get. Because then that's an extra tag, like don't think you're stupid, you're young. There's a difference, stupid is yeah. I have this one joke where I talk about how somebody was so beautiful they were like Gina, Lola, Brigida, right? Which none of the young people are going to know. And I purposely, it's a funny name, right? And I say it just because they won't get it, and it sets me up for the tag. The older people laugh, and then I go, oh, I'm sorry. And then I'll lean on a table. I'll literally put my hand on a table of young people and say, I'm sorry. Take out Gina, put in Kim Kardashian. It's the same joke.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't get that. One joke that I do, or that I do sometimes, is kind of like a periods piece, but it's a Christmas time joke. I'll say things like, all I want for Christmas is, Kanye West to diss Eminem and kill John Wick and hunt John Wick's dog in the same video. It gets mixed reviews, but it kind of gets my point across.
Exactly. Have you been in any comedy contests yet or festivals? Those are fun.
So my thing about, I don't like the contest aspect of things because a lot of them really are just like, hey, can you bring more people? And I was never a fan of that. So I try to avoid those things, which I know is kind of like hurtful and helpful all at the same time. But I don't want to win a popularity contest.
No.
I want to be funny to people.
Yes. Yes.
Festivals, I haven't done any festivals yet. I've seen a lot of them, but I just haven't had the ability to go like travel anywhere. And obviously now it's a little difficult too.
Yes.
But definitely on my radar. And I was thinking, I'm kind of talking myself into possibly doing some contests locally, but again, it's always been one of those things for me. I know I've been to a lot of like contests, and I was one of those people that was, hey, come on down here and we'll see if we can't get me to win. And well, that's how it works, really. You bring
absolutely
people and hey, here's $50.
So I've been in 3 contests. One of them, I had practiced for weeks. I had 22 predictable punchlines in 5.5 minutes. I mean, I was like a weapon, like a military grade weapon. I was cocked and loaded, ready to go. And I get up on stage and forgot everything. So then I'm improvising crowd work, which is not my forte because I'm only 3 or 4 years into comedy. But I mean, I got laughs, and I heard people that were difficult to make, really naysayers of comedy. I heard them belly laughing, but it wasn't anything like I had planned. So the only thing that did for me is gave me confidence that should I forget any little thing, let alone an entire set, I'll be okay. That's all.
And I have this really bad problem where I will write something like the day of. Like I do it all the time for my mic. I put together I write like the first 5 or 10 minutes. I put a monologue almost together, and I will throw it together generally that day. And it's like a test for me. It's my little practice. and there are so many times where I'll put it together and I'll have something in there that's perfect, and I forget it as soon as I go to put it out there.
Yep.
And I just feel so. Oh no! Hold on, guys. Let me look down here real quick.
I hate when I have to do that, but then again, so this other time I was in a comedy festival in Portland. They had the Portland Comedy Festival, right? Now I was hit by a drunk driver in '96. I have brain trauma with just a little bit of memory problems now, right? Like if I were to joke about it, I'd say the only problem now is I forget who I'm going home with, you know. But it wasn't funny, you know. And so I pushed myself that all of the 5 times I was scheduled to do the festival, every set was going to be a different set than the other one, right?
Right.
Don't ever do that with or without a brain injury. By the end, I was so exhausted. I needed another comedian to talk me off the ledge. I was like, you know, like you're never going to be as, if you have a national group of people coming in from everywhere, New York, Florida, California, Vegas, you're never going to win it unless you have that brilliant moment. And so you work yourself to death to be at the bottom, which is where you belong, because the others have been in the business 30, 40 years, you know, they've opened for Louis Armstrong or some shit. Yeah. So it was, the good thing about that, a big festival, is all of the people I met, and some of them have invited me on shows and come on the podcast to interview because they met me. So it's more networking than it was. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that was, it's funny because when I started getting into comedy, I know that one of my biggest problems is I don't network well. And I have no problem saying this out loud. I hate people. Not all people, but just, you know, so generally if I can interact with a couple of people, I'm good. But when I have to go around and be like, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? I don't, that's not me. I can do it. And there are times where I have to do it. I mean, I've had girlfriends that they have families. I understand how it works. But it's, you know, I'm the type of person where I'm very content just being in my own little space and then go doing what I need to do when I need to do it. But again, starting out in comedy, not one of those popular things that you can do and actually start building yourself up.
Yeah. So when you're on stage, do you talk about the fact that you really just hate people? Because that's funny to say on stage.
There are some times where I can work it into a lot of things. I'll improvise it into, you know, a lot of different things that I'll do. It's the funny part is one of my closest friends looked at me when I started dating my current girlfriend, and the first question he asked was, "Does she know you hate people?" I told him, I said, I told her that's just I'm a people person, but I don't like people, and she doesn't believe me. She gets it more now that we've been together for over a year. But it's definitely it was a new experience for her.
Yes. So I think it'd be funny to say something like, you know, I hate people and that's why I like cats, because they walk themselves.
Oh, yeah, but see, I talk a lot about cats too, because I think cats are assholes. And it's just because that's what they are. Like, they just do their own thing. The best thing you can say about a cat is it kind of acts like a dog. So, you know, I've had cats. You know, I'm not anti-cat. It's just true. Like, if they want you, they're going to come, hey, I'm here, love me, give me some attention. And then, you know, all right, go away, leave me alone.
Do you ever talk about the differences between dogs and cats?
I do get into some differences. Again, this is all, a lot of that stuff is like improv stuff. When I get up there and start just riffing and go off in tangents, I'll get into a lot of things like that. I do have a few stories about some old animals of mine that I like to share with people that are kind of amusing. And my current dogs now that I have around here, I'm trying to find humorous things about them, other than the fact that one is a miniature dachshund. It looks like she snarls, but she smiles, which is like a dream come true to me because I always wanted a small little tiny dog that looked mean, even though it wasn't mean.
Well, we're about out of time. And so I want to, first of all, tell you it's been such a pleasure to get you to open up and have you explain who you are to people, because it's important for people to get to know newer comics and older comics. So I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me. This is a wonderful thing. Like I said, I know that when I contact you, this would be something that I hope will be good for other people who are like me starting out, because I fought with myself for too long and it wasted a lot of time. Because despite the fact that I don't believe in age, I ain't getting any younger.
And I waited till I was 63 to get on stage. So I get it.
So you understand where I'm coming from with it. So yeah, I'm again the same thing. I took the Rodney Dangerfield path. After 40, I'm going to start doing something to see if I can't make it work.
Awesome. So where do you want people to follow you? Where could you use more numbers online?
Right now, you can find me on Facebook. It's Leon DePatie at Facebook. I also check out Open Mic at Red Star Rock Bar. That is my open mic page, and check it out. I haven't updated it in a while for obvious reasons.
What's it called? Open mic at
Red Star Rock Bar.
Okay, so when that's back on,
When that's back on, look out there. Like I said, I don't know exactly when it's going to be there, because obviously everywhere's a little bit different. Let's see if let's see if that changed out. There we go. There's my stage.
oh, that's nice.
It's an outdoor venue, indoor-outdoor venue. I take the outside stage. It's Florida, so it's beautiful 4-6 months out of the year, and it's kind of like hell for another 6 months. But we do try to go inside when it gets a little too unbearable.
Yes.
But it's a wonderful area. It's a great little spot in historic Seminole Heights. So yeah, if you're over in Tampa, Florida, check us out. You know, like I said, it's every Monday. As soon as we get back going.
What time?
Time's up in the air right now. We were starting at 9 o'clock, but we may change that coming back depending on how things go.
So have them just check that.
Absolutely. Like I said, open mic at Red Star Rock Bar on Facebook. And as soon as I can find more information out, I'll go ahead and update that.
Thank you so much. So do you have a typical job outside of comedy that's keeping you afloat?
I still work in the casino industry. It's like a weird job. It would take too long to go explain what I do. But it does pay the bills, and it does give me some time to do some writing and such, so it's not so bad. It's unfortunate that I have to deal with people on a regular basis with it, but yeah, you can't win them all.
Leon, do you have your comedy out on YouTube or anywhere so people can watch it if they want to book you?
I don't have anything out on YouTube yet, but I did just buy this beautiful new laptop we're talking on because I want to start putting some stuff together. And
Awesome.
I do it. So as soon as I get some stuff put down and out there, I will absolutely send you a link and let you know.
I'll promote it.
Thank you very much. I absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you, Leon DePatie. Did I get your name right?
DePatie, absolutely.
You're such an awesome guy. Thank you so much. And keep knocking it out of the park being a single dad, right?
Hey, do my best. Like I said, she's 22 now, so I don't have too much work to do.
No, you're over the hump.
You're always there, though. It's always a never-ending thing.
Exactly. I know the feeling. Thanks for everything, Leon. We'll talk on Facebook. I'm going to post this with the Facebook and the Facebook page. Check it for accuracy and tell me if there's anything you'd like promoted on top of it if it comes to mind.
Okay.
And then please share it with your people on Facebook. I would so appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll get right on that.
Thank you, Leon. I'll get you a message when I have it done late tonight.
All right, Linda. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was Leon DePatie. Bye.